Welcome to Michelle Channel, where learning is fun and colorful with awesome 2D animated videos. Welcome back to the underwater world. Let's meet more incredible animals that live under the sea. Lionfish are like the underwater rock stars. They have bright orange and white stripes, long, flowing fins, and spiky venomous spines. They're like the punk rockers of the sea. Lionfish are great hunters and use those spines to defend themselves. They're pretty cool looking, but don't try to touch them. Moray eels are like the slithering ninjas of the ocean. They have long, snake-like bodies and sharp teeth. They hide in crevices and ambush their prey. They're like the underwater ninjas. They have a big mouth and can swallow their prey whole. They're pretty scary looking, but they're not actually very dangerous to humans. Parrotfish are like the colorful birds of the sea. They have bright, colorful bodies and beak-like mouths that they use to munch on coral. They're like the underwater gardeners. They are also very important for keeping the coral reefs healthy. They can change color depending on their mood. So they're like the fashionistas of the sea. Hammerhead sharks are like the weird and wonderful creatures of the ocean. They have a flat head with eyes on either end, which helps them find food. They're like the underwater detectives. They are very good hunters and love to eat rays, fish, and other sharks. They're pretty cool looking, but don't try to swim with them. Barracuda are like the torpedoes of the ocean. They have long, sleek bodies and sharp teeth. They're like the underwater speed demons. Barracuda are very fast swimmers and ambush their prey. They're not very friendly, but they're not usually aggressive towards humans. Cuttlefish are like the masterminds of the ocean. They have 8 arms and 2 long tentacles, and they can change color and texture to blend in with their surroundings. They're like the underwater chameleons. They're also very intelligent and can even solve puzzles. Nudibranch are like the underwater rainbows. They come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and colors. They're like the ocean's tiny fashion shows. They're actually sea slugs, but they're way cooler. Some even have stinging cells on their bodies to defend themselves. Sea snakes are like the underwater serpents. They have long, thin bodies and are very good swimmers. They have venom that they use to hunt fish and other small animals. They're like the underwater ninjas. Sea snakes are very poisonous, so don't try to touch them. Sea dragons are like the mystical creatures of the ocean. They look like tiny, leafy seahorses. They have long, flowing appendages that help them camouflage themselves. They're like the underwater fairies. They are very delicate and are protected in many countries. Anglerfish are like the underwater monsters. They have a long, lure-like appendage that they use to attract prey. It's like a fishing rod. They're like the underwater hunters. Anglerfish live in the deep sea and are very well adapted to their dark environment. We've met even more amazing creatures today. We saw lionfish, moray eel, parrotfish, hammerhead shark, barracuda, cuttlefish, nudibranch, sea snake, sea dragon, and anglerfish. Can you name them all? The ocean is full of wonders, and there's always more to discover. Keep exploring and learning about the incredible life under the sea. Welcome back to the underwater world. Let's meet more incredible animals that live under the sea. Sea anemones are like underwater flowers. They're colorful and have tentacles that they use to catch food. They're kind of like the carnivorous plants of the sea. They have a special relationship with clownfish, who live inside their stinging tentacles for protection. It's like a best friend relationship. Sea anemones come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from tiny to giant. Goby fish are like the tiny acrobats of the sea. They're small and have big eyes. They come in all sorts of colors, like a rainbow. They love to hide in the sand and coral reefs and often live with shrimp. It's like a teamwork relationship. They're really good at digging and can even change color to blend in with their surroundings. They're like the little masters of disguise. Sea sponges are like the underwater filters. They're actually animals, but they don't move around much. They're like the underwater houseplants. They come in lots of different shapes and sizes, from round to flat to spiky. Sea sponges filter water and eat tiny food particles. They're very important for keeping the ocean clean. Imagine tiny, speedy ninjas zipping around the ocean floor. That's what shrimp are like. They come in all sorts of colors, like a rainbow. They use their 10 tiny legs to walk, swim, and even wave to their friends. Some shrimp even live in coral reefs, where they hide among the colorful underwater castles. Shrimp are super important for the ocean. They clean up bits of food and algae, like little underwater gardeners. They also make a delicious snack for lots of other animals, like fish and whales. They're very social, living in big groups called schools. It's like a huge underwater party. Coral is like the underwater cities. It's actually made up of tiny animals called polyps that live together in colonies. They're like the underwater apartment buildings. Coral reefs are very important for the ocean. They provide food and shelter for lots of different animals. They're like the underwater rainforests. Sea pens are like underwater feathers. They're actually a type of coral that looks like a pen with a feathery top. They're like the underwater inkwells. They can move around a little bit, and some even have glowing tips that attract food. They're pretty cool, but don't try to touch them. Blue tangs are like underwater jewels. They have bright blue bodies with a yellow tail, making them look like little moving gemstones. They are one of the most beautiful fish in the ocean. They are found in coral reefs and love to swim around in groups. They're like the ocean's little cheerleaders. They're also very active and love to explore. So they're like the little adventurers of the sea. Boxfish are like the underwater cubes. They have a boxy shape and can change color to blend in with their surroundings. They're like the ocean's little camouflage masters. Some boxfish are even poisonous. They're like the tiny, floating alarm systems of the sea. Sea hares are like the underwater bunnies. They're actually sea slugs that look like bunnies. They have a pair of long horns on their heads that look like bunny ears. They're like the ocean's fluffy friends. Sea hares can release ink to confuse predators. They're like the underwater escape artists. We've met even more amazing creatures today. We saw sea anemone, goby fish, sea sponge, sea slug, coral, sea pen, blue tangs, boxfish, sea hare. Can you name them all? The ocean is full of wonders, and there's always more to discover. Keep exploring and learning about the incredible life under the sea. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe to our channel to watch more exciting and educational videos for kids. Let's make learning fun together.